social issues, interviews with local officials, and political information that matters most to your local community. Joining us again tonight is Commissioner Ian Vallecillo, giving us more insight on what he is doing to improve his community in Sweetwater, Florida.
So let's get back to Ian and so those are great projects. And I also noticed that you have done a lot of community, like a lot of community involvement, like connecting the city to the people, with pork shoulders for Christmas and, diapers for babies and whatnot. So share a little bit about that and like what it is, like, the backstory behind it all.
Well, Sweetwater is a community that has a high number of people living below the poverty rate. So it's just one of the things I promised when I was running is that we would help these people out, help our residents out, especially because of the pandemic. Everybody's been having a hard time. Yeah, things have gotten a little better, but some people are still having a hard time. They don't make enough income, and they have a lot of kids, and they have family that has moved in with them from other places that weren't able to live on their own anymore because of how high the housing market has gotten. So you have more people living in single houses now, and it's pretty intense. So the money the little money they earn is stretched in. So we like to do what we can do. We're giving them, commissioners are giving a discretionary account that we can use to help our residents. So we might as well use it. So what happens is I meet with nonprofits, for example, the Miami Diaper Bank, and we set up an event there, we set up a diaper distributions, and then we try to do that quarterly because diapers get expensive. If you're a parent and you have a lot of kids, you that it's, you don't expect diapers to take so much of your money, but they do. Diapers and all the baby necessities. So it's a way that we can help. The diaper bank is here to help solve the diaper need. In
so
Miami.
You just took the city, the people, and the diaper bank and put them together without the city having to fund it, or was the city partially funding it or donating to the?
No, we don't have to do anything. They're a nonprofit and they have people that fund them.
I see. Okay.
So
no, that's great
they just need places to distribute the diapers. So we partner with them in that, like, hey, come pass the diapers out in our youth center in our park.
Wow.
Right? And we'll work with you guys. That's all.
That's brilliant. That's great. Where'd you get the pork shoulders?
Pork shoulders, that was different. That all the commissioners came together and we pitched in and bought all of those.
Wow.
Nonprofits,
like meaning with your own money?
Well, with our discretionary account that we have for purposes like that to help our residents.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's great. Yeah. So it was coming out of a fund that was allocated for you guys for, other discretionary spending, and you just took that and like gathered all of it and then bought pork shoulders for.
I like hearing when people do that with their discriscionary funds.
So yeah, man, that's really awesome. Can I ask another follow-up question though before Mo goes on to the next?
Sure.
No, I was going to ask, like you were saying that you have a lot of residents that live under the poverty line. So my question is like, are there any projects or plans to empower your residents so that they could have the skills, or they could have the means or ways to acquire better jobs, or be able to support themselves?
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, I want to continue to do these distributions quarterly. The diaper distributions quarterly, some kind of food drive quarterly. Ideally, I'd want to do the food drives monthly. So we got to find different nonprofits to work with to do that, or we continue to pitch in to do our own. That's one way that we help lighten the load on people. But definitely, yeah, I am conservative, so I don't like to just completely rely on giving people stuff. You don't want to just keep giving people fish. You want to teach them how to fish.
Yeah.
So we currently don't have anything like that, but that's something that I want to implement. I want to do some job fairs in the city and bring in employers that are trying to hire people. So that's something I want to do in the future,
right.
to get people, acquainted with jobs. Now, as for us to actually train people to do jobs, we don't yet at this point have the resources to do that, but that's something that we could seek grants for, federal or state grants. When that money is out there, I want us to go for it, pursue it, and establish a program where we could do something like that.
Yeah. I think that would be fantastic.
And we did actually a couple of years ago had a program, not with AARP, but another group, I forgot what they're called, where we were getting retired seniors to come into the city and intern in the mayor's office in different capacities. And a couple of those people were actually hired. They learned some new skills they didn't have before, and they stayed working in the city for a little bit. But
that's awesome.
That's not happening anymore, but that's something I'd like to bring back. And also, we have a huge population of students in the city because we're right in front of FIU. So
yeah,
I'm trying to bring more. I'm trying to build a bridge with FIU. You know, not
like
a physical bridge.
there you go. I was
My
like,
bad
wait,
choice of words there.
don't they already have a bridge?
No, there's no bridge.
There's no bridge anymore.
I know, bro.
Oh,
But there's so many FIU students there, you know, and a lot of them live in Sweetwater. But what happens is they finish their education and they leave
Right.
instead of applying those skills in our city. Some of them stay. Like I stayed. I finished school and I stayed and I ran for office here.
But I mean, you were raised around here, no?
Yeah.
Right.
Always
No, I mean, like I know Miami has a massive brain leak problem already, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, UM and FIU and you know and Miami-Dade College, they pump out like good quality students, and people come here for education and then they leave. So yeah, we can't retain those people, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that we don't have enough industries to support them.
Yeah. See, what I want to do is similar to what happened with me. Is how I was won over to stay in Sweetwater and work here, become a commissioner here. Is that while I was in FIU, I decided to intern in the city, in the mayor's office, and I loved it. Before I didn't even know there was such a thing as Sweetwater. You know, it's just a smaller unknown city. I knew about Doral. I didn't know about Sweetwater. And then when I found out, hey, there's this city called Sweetwater here, they need interns in the mayor's office. I'm like, all right, you know, that was like 10 years ago. And then because of that internship, I fell in love with municipal government, and I saw that there's a way to go here. There's a way to grow. I learned a lot of skills there. I was the grants administrator for like 8 years in the city. Learned a lot about bringing federal funds down here to help our community. So I think if we reestablish an internship program with FIU, we have interns for the commissioners, plug in interns for the mayor's office, get that going. They're going to learn a lot of useful skills here, and some of them will fall in love with the city, and maybe they'll stay. So that's one thing I'm working on that I want to reestablish that. And then one thing I did do, we created 2 boards, a youth advisory board. We filled it with FIU students. They've already had a meeting. We're going to have another one soon. It's to get them involved in government and give them a real life experience. It's like if they were commissioners, you know, each commissioner appoints one. So there's 7 of us, there's 7 of them. They meet on our dais. They make decisions that then we, the commission, have to approve. It gives them a real life experience. They elect their own chair, their own vice chair. They make their own legislation and pass it, and they're bound by sunshine. They have to work with the city attorney, and it's a great experience for them. We just created that. And then we created a neighborhood improvements advisory board, which we put some more FIU students on. And that board, for that purpose of that board, is to come up with ideas of how we can beautify the city and its parks. So we're giving FIU students in the city a voice, a platform to get them involved. And the idea is they get involved and they bring some of their friends and say, hey, there's this city here where you can get involved. There's things to do there. There's projects you can help with. So, and I think it has had a positive effect because when we did our food giveaways and other distributions, we would have issues getting volunteers. But in the last couple that we've had too many volunteers, you know, so people are finding out that there's a community.
That is definitely new. Having too many volunteers. Yeah.
That it's working, you know.
Sounds great. Love it.
We just got to keep doing that. FIU is a huge resource, and we're a resource for them too. We just got to work together.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great.
You kind of, you're kind of segueing a little bit into that. What I'm about to ask you about, because one of the things that commissioners tend to, campaign on is how they make their city the best place to live, work, play. So again, you guys have got the community giveaways where you're giving out diapers and pork shoulders out of the discretionary funds. But like, how do you now engage the family or give them things to do as a family? Like, what are you doing in terms of parks and recreation, or providing more facilities for people and things like that, or activities at these parks and recreation? What goes on in Sweetwater?
Well, every year we have a Christmas festival. We have a 4th of July festival. And then there's an organization here, a nonprofit called the Little Abner Foundation. And every year in our park, they throw a huge festival where there's free food. It's a fair, basically. They bring in rides and animals, petting zoo. They give
What's
gifts.
the organization called again?
The Little Abner Foundation.
Abner. Okay.
And they give presents to the kids. They do this before Christmas. So they give out Christmas presents to the kids for free. The rides are free. The food is free. Everything is free there. Huge community event. We love that. And then, like I said, we do our own Christmas event where we also give away presents and have little activities, and a Santa Claus that comes in on a helicopter or a fire truck.
Wow.
Or just walking in. This year he just walked in on the helicopter. We have
helicopter's pretty fancy.
Yeah.
Well, helicopter gas prices have gone up, so he walked in.
Yeah. we got to get an electric fire truck.
Or you get him an electric scooter.
So
Like,
we have those 3 big events, and I want to do more events to get the community, because it's hard to get the community involved here. They come to those events, and there's a lot of free stuff, and I think that helps bring people. But we want people to just get involved because they want to get involved and because they care. So that's hard to do, but we're working on. That's part of the neighborhood improvements board, the neighborhood improvement board, and the youth advisory board. One of the things that they have to do is put together some community events, and we gave them a budget to do so, and we could support them with our budget as well for them to put on these events. So I want there to be at least an event every quarter for their community, and so there's happening. So we have those 3 events plus the new events that these boards will be bringing in, and we gave them the money to do so, like I said. And with parks, we don't have a whole lot of parks in the city, and the parks that we have are pretty small. We have we have only 3 parks in the city. One's a baseball field with a basketball court and a youth center, and then the other's just a little playground and racquetball, tennis court. And then we have one of those parks, a linear park that's just a strip along the canal. But right before I ran for commissioner, I resigned as the grants administrator of the city. And one of the last grants I brought to the city was a grant from FERDAP, from the state of Florida. And that one was to install exercise equipment on our linear park. So right now we're actually implementing that. We resurfaced the walkway on that park. We're putting in fence to separate the walkway from the canal so people don't fall in the canal. And we're installing gazebos and exercise equipment and garbage cans and dog poop disposers and stuff.
Little pooper scoopers.
So right now we're fixing all our parks. That, and then the county gave us about $4 million to redo our baseball field. And we're going to do a convertible baseball, soccer, football field, artificial turf. And it's completely brand new. It's going to be beautiful. And
it's going to be indoors or outdoors?
A long time coming. We haven't fixed our parks in years, decades maybe. So this is something finally that we're making happen.
You said outdoors, right? It's outdoors?
Yeah. Our parks are all outdoors, yeah. So we're doing that. The only indoor park space we have is our youth center, which that was renovated like 2 years ago. So that's fine. It's a beautiful facility.
How did the city fund that, or was it funded by the county?
Which one?
The youth center.
That was a little bit
before
of
your time. Oh, a little bit of the county.
No, it was mostly city funds that was put aside for it, but the county did give us some money for it too, for fixing the roof. So, do
you guys usually budget funding for this kind of stuff, over time? Let's say you build it and then you collect a little bit each year, and then 20 years later you do renovations on it.
Well, we really rely on grants for all these big type of infrastructure projects, but a lot of these grants require you to have a match, so we always have to budget a little bit for it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Did I answer your question, Mo?
Oh no, that was perfect. That was very.
I want to go into the juicy part.
Oh, it gets juicier.
It gets juicier.
Thanks for watching Political Pulse Live. Please make sure you subscribe, like, and comment about today's show.